Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me, my name is Samantha and I do fashion and lifestyle videos. For today's video, I'm finally doing a Q&A, and your assumptions about me, I know all you girls from Instagram are gonna be like, finally. So yeah, that's kind of the topic of today's video. But before I get into it, I do want to say you guys are so amazing, and so instead of just me blabbing about myself for the entire video and that's it, I would absolutely love if you guys would comment and tell me a little bit about yourselves. Tell me where you're from, what's your life story, who you are, your loves, your passions, your dreams. I want to get to know you ladies as individuals, and I would absolutely love it if you would just comment down below and we can have a chat. So yeah, before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell. That way you will know every time I post a video. Let's get into it. All right, question number one is probably, along with my age, the number one question I get, and it's how tall I am. So I'm actually 5'3" or around 161 centimeters. I am not tall. Camera angles can make a huge difference. I get loads of women asking like, oh my god, I can never fit into these pants. Just hem them. That is my number one tip I would have if you are on the shorter side. If you love a pair of pants and the only thing that's throwing you off is the length, get them hemmed. It makes the world of a difference. Question number two is, where are you from? And then of course, where were you born and raised? So I was born in Venezuela, in Caracas, and I spent most of my childhood in La Guaira, which is kind of a seaside city. Although I was born and kind of started my life out there, which meant a lot of beach days and boating and, you know, it was a very different lifestyle. When I was 7, I moved to Canada, and so I really think I was mainly raised, I spent most of my childhood and teenage years in Canada. I feel so absolutely fortunate to have been able to live and experience life in these two countries. Question number three is, what's your ethnicity, and do you prefer your roots, descendant, original culture, or the American culture? Well, first of all, I am not American, I am Canadian. And like I said, I am from Venezuela. I feel very strongly about this question because I don't think as an immigrant, one should ever have to decide which culture one likes best. I think if one day I wanna, you know, listen to Latin music and eat empanadas all day, and then the next day skate on a pond and drink maple syrup, I'm gonna do that. So I don't think I could choose. I don't have a preference. I love both for different reasons, and that's just it. I am both. Question number four is also a really popular question, but it's, what do you do for a living and where do you work? So I actually work in retail. For safety reasons, I'm not gonna be saying where I work. Toronto isn't the biggest of cities, so that's all I'm gonna say. I work in retail. Question number five, how do you decide what items of clothing to spend your money on? This is actually a really great question. When it comes to what pieces I spend my money on, there are various factors. The three kind of things I kind of always think about in my head when I'm gonna spend something is, what is the quality of that item and does it match the price? Can I justify that price? Number two, do I feel amazing in this item? Do I open my closet and am I excited to put that item on? You know, I think a lot of us get carried away with, oh, that doesn't fit your style, that doesn't fit your body type, you're this height, so you have to wear this. No, I have to feel absolutely amazing in what I'm wearing. And it's funny because I get a lot of women telling me, you have such a beautiful shape, show it off. But that's not how I feel confident. You know, if I'm wearing something tight, I actually feel really self-conscious. And it's not that I don't like my body, it's just, that's not what I feel most confident in. What I feel most confident in is kind of looser clothing, blazers. Oh my god, I feel so amazing in a blazer. So I guess that second reason of how I choose whether or not I want to spend my money on something is, do I absolutely love it? And then that leads into the third reason is, how long do I see myself wearing an item for? And how long is it gonna last in my closet in terms of style and trends? So those are kind of like the three reasons and kind of things I always go through. It's kind of like a mini checklist that I go through in my head before I purchase something. Question number 6 is, where do you find style inspiration? This is a really great question, actually. I would say probably the #1 place is the runway. I love to see what's on at Fashion Week and just to see and understand what kind of things are being designed by designers. The second kind of thing I get my inspiration from, I would say, is myself. And I know that sounds really silly, but typically when I shop for pieces, it's my mom and I. She's my best friend. We do everything together and we love to bounce ideas off of each other. And when we go shopping, especially for content creating, for YouTube, for Instagram, I have to block out what is going on around me. I cannot be focused what this influencer is doing and what this content creator is doing. I have to just really stay true to myself, and I hope you guys can see that through what I post, but I just have to stay true to myself and to what I love and to what makes me feel amazing, and in hopes that you guys will feel the exact same about those pieces. So yeah, that's kind of where I get my inspiration from. Question number 7 is, what got you into doing YouTube, and why and how did you decide to start YouTube? Truthfully, this question, I feel like I don't even know the answer. I guess it kind of started back in about April, right when the lockdown happened. I had just started a blog. I haven't touched it in a while, but I started a blog because I was just living in Canada. I felt very frustrated that all these kind of styles, classy, timeless fashion looks just didn't exist. I think Canada, especially Toronto, has a very lounge, casual look, and I'm the type of person, as you guys know, I love trousers, I love blazers, I love to dress up. And I truthfully, besides I think Valeria, there was no content creator that I could just say, oh my god, I love them, and they're from Canada, that's so amazing. On the other hand, in the UK, I feel like there are thousands and thousands of phenomenal content creators who are classy and timeless and that have that kind of boss woman look. So when I kind of started my blog, the intention was I just wanted to kind of make this bridge and I guess be the person in Canada that I just never had. Someone who I could relate to and hopefully other people could relate to in terms of style and personality. So that's what got my blog started, and that was obviously very fashion focused. And then from there, during lockdown, I really started to focus on my Instagram. And then I think naturally from there, one day the conversation just came up that, why don't I start a YouTube? And I did, and here we are. I feel like I've been chatting so much. Question number 8 is, were you nervous to start your YouTube and change your Instagram to influencer content? Was I nervous to start YouTube? Absolutely not. Instagram, on the other hand, was slightly different. So when I started posting more fashion content, I did not start a brand new account. So essentially I had all my family on there, all my close friends and all my acquaintances, as well as people who I had just kind of, I don't know, met at school, at events, kind of just acquaintances. So when it came to, I guess, doing that, yes, there were a few nerves, but I feel like that's totally normal. But I do have to say that those kind of nerves were very quickly overwritten by this idea that the people who were there to support me and the people who, you know, weren't necessarily my friends, but who were proud of who I was becoming or happy for that step that I had taken, those were the people that were gonna stick around. The people who just, you know, potentially didn't like me, never have liked me, whatever the reason may be, those would be the people that were going to unfollow and leave. And so, you know what? If they didn't feel like I was a good fit for them, either as an acquaintance, a friend, someone on Instagram, that was totally okay. And so making that change for me just, I think, would show me who was there to support me and who wasn't. And I think thinking about it in that way made the transition really, really easy. Question number 9 is, did you expect to blow up so quickly on YouTube? Simple answer to that is absolutely not. When I started all of this, I was very realistic. I am a person who does all their research. I covered all my bases. So I was very realistic. I was like, you know what? It can take 2 to 3 months to get 100 subscribers. Fine. So I was very kind of realistic and I was ready and I knew what to expect. And then all of a sudden, within a week, I had almost 1,000. So no, I did not expect it to happen this way. I didn't expect my Instagram to grow this way. And so it was, I think even now I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around what is happening. And so I did not expect anything to blow up the way it did. Okay, question number 10 has to be the number one asked question on all my social media platforms, and it is how old I am. This is something that I honestly always avoid, and it's because throughout my life I have always experienced a lot of bias towards me, and I've seen, and not even just younger people closer to my age, but even adults who, the moment they find out my age, they completely change the way they behave around me. And so after that has happened so many times, I just kind of reached the point where I just try not to bring up my age. And I think eventually it does come up. But I am 20 years old. So when most of you started watching, I was 19. I would say I have always been a little bit of an old soul. I know my family has always described me in that sense. And I think a lot of the times when people meet me, they assume I'm 23, 25. But yeah, the reason I really don't like talking about my age is, you know, and this has happened with even family friends, you know, they're talking to me and we're talking about, I don't know, politics, and great, treating me like an adult. And then the moment they find out my age, it's like, oh, you're 20. You must know absolutely nothing. It's like, not necessarily. Not all 20-year-olds party and sleep around, and you know, it's, I think, a little bit unfair to throw every 20-year-old into that category. So I think because I've experienced that so much in my life, I just reached the point where I'm just like, don't ask me my age, I'm not gonna say. Just keep treating me the way you would treat me if you didn't know my age. So yeah, but now you guys know I am 20. Secret's out. It was never a secret. So next question is, what did you study at university? I'm actually still at university. I am doing a double major in history and art history. I am trying to graduate early so I can kind of really focus on doing this. I absolutely love and I'm very passionate about content creating, and I hope to kind of, you know, turn that into a full-time job at some point. But right now, yes, I am a full-time student. I work part-time in retail, and I am doing YouTube essentially every spare minute that I get. Okay, so that kind of wrapped up all the questions. Now I want to get into the assumptions. There is no particular order. I kind of just wrote these down in the order that they came in on my Instagram. So assumption number 1 is you were a cheerleader in high school. Funny, this is actually what my boyfriend first thought of me. I was actually in band all through high school. I played the alto saxophone, I was in the concert band, I was in the jazz band. Very much a band nerd, so not a cheerleader. You're very into high-end brands, but with reason. Absolutely, I love and very much respect high-end brands. I think I don't look at brands as respected brands, I look at them as artwork. I think it takes a certain amount of creativity and just art and craft to be able to make certain things. Manolo Blahnik, for example, when you look at him design those shoes, to me, that is just art. It's phenomenal. So I do have a respect for the quality, the craft, the creativity that goes into high-end brands. But absolutely, with reason, I think there are certain things that I just would never buy, even though they may be a luxury brand. You are a quality over quantity person. Absolutely, I think less is more, and that is often why you will see my wardrobe be very minimalistic, very simple, very classy, very timeless. You're confident and don't care what people think. I am a very confident person. I have always kind of, I think, stuck true to myself, even though that may not be what other people are doing. I have also been one to always go against the grain. If something was trending, I would do the opposite. If, you know, I got a pair of shoes and someone else got the same shoes, I'd be like, oh my god, I can't wear the same shoes. I was always that type of kid. So I was very confident in the sense that I was very happy being different from everyone else. Okay, next assumption is you easily forgive. Absolutely, maybe too easily. At the same time, I'm the type of person that I will forgive and forgive and forgive until you cross a line. Once you cross that line with me, that's it. There's just, I gave you 1,001 chances and you messed it up. So yes, I will forgive super easily, and almost instantly, you know, I could get in an argument and then 30 seconds later just pretend like it never happened. So yeah, very easily forgive. You get told you look younger all the time. This is my favorite assumption. No, this is assuming that I'm old. I'm not. I'm young, so a lot of people actually assume that I am a lot older than I actually am. You work in marketing and are 22 years old. Absolutely not. I'm a student, I work in retail, and I am 20. You're young. Yes. You are 24. No. You keep your circle small. I keep my circle very small. I have a really close group of friends from high school, and then from there on, it's just my family. And I have always been like that, and I may always be like that. I don't know, who knows? You were a very shy kid. I was not. I was very sassy, very mouthy, very opinionated, still very opinionated. But when I was a kid, I was not shy at all. You are not a morning person. I am. I love mornings. They're my absolute favorite time of the day. I find my mornings really set my mood for the day. Mornings are really important to me, so yes, I like to go to bed fairly early and get up nice and early and just enjoy the peaceful morning. You're an only child. I consider myself an only child, but I technically do have a stepsister who lives in Venezuela with my biological dad, but pretty much for my entire life I was raised as an only child. So you're a minimalistic person. Absolutely. When it comes to my wardrobe, how I live, I think in all aspects of my life, I would consider myself a pretty minimalistic person. You're an architect student / interior design student. No, but funny enough, almost all of my family kind of falls into that realm. Almost all of my family members are either architects or studying to be architects, and I guess I just missed the boat. I'm a history student, so I don't know. You're a student. I am. I'm almost done, thank God. We're a delicate woman with a good heart. I am very delicate. I am so emotional. I could cry for like, I know, I cry when I'm angry, I cry when I'm sad, I cry when I'm happy. Very delicate. And I hope I have a good heart. I do. You don't have a large group of friends. Boyfriend, parents are your closest confidants. Like I said, I do have a close group of friends, but aside from that, I guess, yeah, my closest confidants would be my partner and my mom and dad. You always knew you wanted to go into fashion. I don't think I necessarily knew, but fashion has always had a very strong aspect in my life. I will try to put a few pictures up on the screen if I can, but for example, when I was young, getting dressed up and making outfits with like those little play shoes and scarves and bags, I was doing that when I was 3 years old. And when I was a little bit older, when I would go into department stores, I would actually, it was the Bay, so the Hudson's Bay in Canada. That's kind of the department store I grew up with, or Sears. And I would go into these stores, and when my mom and dad were shopping around, I would go to the fixtures and I would actually make outfits and put them on the front of the fixtures for people to potentially buy. Oh, what did I know as a kid? So I would pick like a top, a jacket, and maybe some jeans, and I would create this outfit and put it on top of the fixtures, like at the very front. And so when people would walk, they would see my outfit and potentially buy the outfit that I had chosen and made up. God knows what those look like now, but and then when I got a little bit older, you know, there was a time when I really did want to become a fashion designer. I started getting into drawing. I would draw a ton of outfits, and then I also had this little toy which essentially was a doll, and then with fabric you would just stick it into these little holes and make a dress. I think fashion has naturally always had a very strong aspect in the things that I liked. I think it's always naturally come up. When I went to high school, it was a little bit different because I was in the International Baccalaureate program, so very academic heavy. I was surrounded by students who were very, very far from the arts, and so I think naturally that just pushed me in a more academic route, which is totally okay. I absolutely don't regret any choices that I've ever made. At one point I did absolutely consider going into fashion. Again, I chose the academic route, and here I am doing fashion. So yes, I have always, I think, been very naturally interested in fashion ever since I was very, very, very young. Did I know that that's what I wanted to do? Not necessarily, not necessarily. You're very neat and organized. I am in some ways, but I think I can be messy. I can be messy. Okay guys, so that concludes today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this Q&A. I know, I think now you guys are gonna have a little bit of a better idea of who I am as a person, and with that, I would love to get to know you guys. So don't forget to comment down below and tell me a little bit about yourself. But that's it. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.